Voted most likely to eat the pop filter off your mic, it's audio-visual. The pop filter off your mic, it's audio-visual. Toonkind's local bootleg Sableye. And I'm here tonight with my lovely co-host for this FPS this evening.
The voice of consciousness. Is that the right term?
The voice of your consciousness.
The voice of my consciousness.
So,
Sotoro-Ma!
Consciousness is like your general thought. You're probably thinking of your conscience.
Conscience. You understand why I got that confused?
Yeah, like Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, I was trying to do that bit. Bilingual issues.
Bye.
Woo! Anyway. Hello. I'm here. Woo.
Rated second most likely to eat your pop filter, it's Sotoro-Ma.
I guess that makes sense. And welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS.
It's been a bit.
It's been a bit.
It's always been a bit.
It's always been a bit.
We're kind of taking these as they come.
We're taking our time. We're chilling.
Like a fine wine.
You know?
Now all I'm thinking about is Saint Motel songs. But we're here tonight. As you can see, we're doing another FPS. This FPS is between Bon and Jester. And honestly, if you, like us, have realized how much time has passed between now and The Sweetest Taste, you'll realize, man, there's been a lot of stuff going on with these scattered FPSs, and not all of it is necessarily coherent. So, for your listening pleasure this evening, we've brought to you a sort of TDLR, a here's what you've missed on... Not Glee.
This.
Yeah, on this.
On this.
Generally just, not just for the listeners, but for us to kind of have an idea of things that have happened that are important to remember. So Sweetest Taste was a really big, important Sandy lore stuff.
Whoop, whoop.
Where we got a lot of important information in regards to the people in Sandy's life before she met a lot of the current player characters that she's become friends with.
Sandy backstory. And thus, we also gain new characters unlocked.
Exactly. And this stuff that we're talking about is also beginning to delve into Bond's backstory, which has been kind of scattered hither and thither. But most importantly, what you need to know is right now we're in a mansion that Bond has inherited through completely normal and legal means.
It's totally legal.
And on that note, currently within the mansion, we have quite a few people staying there. And I'm going to adjust the mic slightly because I noticed that it's a little loud.
Oops.
I don't want to get them too sensually excited by my loud ass voice.
I can help a little bit.
So I'm watching the right now 4 characters are currently living full-time in the mansion. We have Ubs the Pratt and Ubs the Hat, who are siblings, who we met officially in Sweetest Taste. And both were injured after the events of The Sweetest Taste. Helping them to get better and to upgrade their mechanical toon bodies is Kancal. And also there, pulling up the rear and handing out the best girl and most likely to be rated as a war criminal behind Dr. Kancal is Yuvia.
Yuvia Mat.
Yes. And so, with the 4 of them there, things have kind of been interesting. Ubs the Pratt and Ubs the Hat have kind of been laying low, I feel. They've been very chill. They haven't shown up in any of our previous FPSs.
I feel like it's always in the opposite side of things.
Right?
Or,
I feel like the mansion is very big.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what we've been talking about in our FPSs has been Ken-Cal's medicalness and problems thereof. And so they've been off probably hanging out in the observatory, enjoying the sunlight, maybe, getting an idea of hobbies. There's so many books and knickknacks, and there's so many things you can do there, along with absolutely nothing.
Yeah. They're good at keeping themselves entertained.
Exactly. And so it's like, they're also working on a bit of a redesign for Osterhat.
Yes.
So I feel like that's also taking up quite a bit of their, free time. Mm-hmm. Because they're kind of like a two-partner act.
Yeah.
And so it's like, not only do they want to look good together, they want to look good apart. And so not only I feel, will Osterhat be getting a slight redesign, Osterprat will be as well.
They're also having thoughts and ideas on what to do now that they're out and about.
Yeah, they're getting ready to set out into the world. So they got to think about, what kind of jobs do they want to do? Where do they want to live? Where do they want to go? And I'm sure Bond's probably been, helping in that sense of, here's maps, here's people I know, here's positions you guys could be good for that I know are probably looking for people. But otherwise, I feel like they've honestly been having a really chill time.
They've been having the best time.
Out of everyone, yes. Meanwhile, Ken-Cal has been assaulted.
Depression.
Is an alien. Is dying.
Is dying. Actively.
Actively. And
Constantly.
passively. And yeah. And Yuvia's been like, stop that.
Mm-hmm.
And has thus beseeched Bond to become comrades in this war on Ken-Cal, in parentheses, Ken-Cal's body.
Mm-hmm. Ken-Cal violence.
Yes. And I'm going to constantly be shifting around, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
And
they also got a curse now.
Yep. Ken-Cal has been cursed. Unfortunately. It happens.
It happens.
Tangentially to the 4 people who live here full time, we have some people who don't live here full time. That being Bon and Sandy. I feel like Sandy doesn't really come around a lot. There was a very notable instance where she came and talked to Ken-Cal. But otherwise, I feel like they haven't reached the stage of Sandy feeling comfortable to come there.
They will get there, but not right now.
Not right now. Meanwhile, Bon is performing the juggling act of their fucking life. So Bon and Sandy are looking to move out of Bon's apartment and into a house that is closer to the ferry that they take to go to the mansion. Because the mansion is on a tiny speck of an island off the coast of Einquell. And so Sandy kind of, I feel, talked Bon into this, and also Bon kind of let themselves be talked into it, because Sandy deserves to have a nice place to grow up, and Bon's apartment, well, not awful, is kind of shitty.
It's small.
It was small for Bon. And if it was just Sandy living there, it would be good sized. But that's not how that works. So Bon has been working on finding a house with Sandy, spending time with Sandy, because Sandy's going through things right now.
The emotional turmoils of a child.
the emotional turmoils of a child who is like third on the list for war criminal. Bon is also working on probably finding at least 2 replacements lined up if they were to leave the movie studio. Because they do a hell of a job there whenever they are there. And they're also going out to see Kankal and Yuvia and Ups the Pret and Ups the Hat and dealing with that stuff. And then also dealing with stuff left over from said inheriting mansion totally legally that wasn't in any way involved with faking their mentor's death. So, on that note,
should we also mention the situationship between Bon and Gil?
Yeah, again. So Bon and Gil have been having a bit of a falling out, coming back together. Things are still #complicated. And so Bon has sent Gil off to go do some investigating. And in return, Bon brought Jester back because of shenanigans stuff that happened because Bon was in a game after Sweetest Taste. And that had to do with tunes made from paintings. And they already knew a tune who was in a painting, who didn't apparently used to be a tune in a painting. So, and Jester was hanging out with Gil, so that kind of forced an encounter between them, but Jester's now in the mansion. And Jester knows some things. All sorts of things.
Many things.
Inadvertently, many things have dovetailed together so beautifully.
Jester did not intend this
No one intended this.
No one
this is what happened. So now we're here. And here we shall be. Because here is where I shall take a drink. We shall take a moment to think,
percolate.
And for you, dear listener, I shall set a scene. The Thornberry Mansion is very large. Originally constructed by Toons, it still possesses many Toonie attributes. Even as it resides off the coast of Einquell, further and further away from its general magical source of existence. But being made with Toonie materials and Toonie times and Toonie places with Toonie hands means that the mansion itself is a little quirky, as one would say. And in this mansion, where once resided a very famous painter, there are many, many galleries and many, many paintings and many, many places where one can go. One can hide secrets there. But today is not necessarily a place of secrets. It's actually a very easily accessible place. You basically walk in the front door, and after the coat closets, it's to your right. You just step through the large glass-paned doors, and the room is brightly lit, but in a careful way that implies it's done so in a way to perfectly light the paintings within while not degrading them. Because the care and maintenance of such priceless pieces of art is in itself an art. And this gallery is very large. At one point, it seems to have housed musical instruments, many, 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 many paintings, and sculptures and furniture of some kind. But it seems a lot of it is gone now. A lot of it is left only in blank spaces on the wall, scuff marks on the floor, patches where the dust didn't settle. And this is where Jester has been residing the last evening, at least, into the morning. And that has given Jester plenty of time to explore this space and begin to, as one would say, infect the paintings of the gallery.
So crude with that.
And the room is very beautiful. It is a very, very large room. It's probably larger than Bond's apartment.
That's not hard to do.
No. But with that size comes a lot of paintings. And not too long, one would say, to spend creeping out to reach out and touch them and observe them.
Just taking time to really analyze them, yander at them, kind of feel out how they were made, the many layers stacked upon paint and paint and paint that made it be what it is now.
And I will say, because of Jester's unique sense for this kind of thing, while many of these paintings are Harley's, the former owner of this place, many of them are not. After all, it is such a large space. I would say maybe half are Harley's. Impressive. Conversely, more than half, it seems, are from many different artists. Some of which I feel are other famous painters. Some of which Jester may recognize. Some of which Jester may have knowledge or experience with. Their paintings, at least. Otherwise, some of them are clumsy, perhaps crude in some cases. Not done by practiced hands. A few of them that are newer, that are clearly part of some attempt to convert the space into something else, but perhaps not quite sure what to do with that amount of space yet, has a familiar sort of touch to them. Jester would know her. Her name is Sandy Sweet. She doesn't have very many paintings here. Perhaps only 3 or so. But they are clearly stars of the new show that is steadily creeping into this old building. There are a few more that Jester will recognize, no doubt. Some of which are from what appears to be Bond themselves. And others that will go, perhaps, unnamed for the moment. Leaving that up to Jester's discretion of their depths of knowledge I'm sure they have.
It's like flicking through pages in a book and various books. Instead of having a bookshelf with the spine of books facing towards you, it's the other way around. I mean, how Jester fills out paintings is just grazing upon the pages, and occasionally, every now and then, pulling out the book and feeling out and reading it and seeing how it was made and how it developed over time. That's really the trick on infecting paintings, is getting to sit down and seeing how it was made, what materials was it made by, what kind of techniques, what kind of brush strokes, what was the artist's go-to, in a sense. Did they prefer pastels? Did they prefer darker striking tones? Did, what kind of materials was the paint made out of? It's about analyzing the artwork fully and critically, in a sense. It's not just a funny little ha-ha. It's really more of a sit-down and trying to understand what the painting is telling you.
fascinating.
Not that they would tell anybody out of the
Not that they
hand. They have that silly little Jester.
Listen, a good jester has to keep so many tricks up the sleeve. So, last FPS, Jester was there as Bon and Kankal spent a hefty amount of time working together to sort of start broaching Kankal's healthcare plan. And that evening, whenever they finally chose to essentially retire for the evening, Kankal and Bon did sort of a evening routine, and Bon took Jester to the gallery, allowed them to pick a place where they wished to be hung, placed upon thine wall, and bid them good night. Probably left a light on, but otherwise left entirely for the evening to return to their apartment. So from that point, Jester would most likely be alone unless visited by one of the others in the night, until probably 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Which is fairly early, but also decently late into the morning. Most likely they would be one of the, depending on how far does Jester's vision extend out of their painting?
From out their painting is basically like actually seeing outward. As if that's the place that you were standing at. And they don't need glasses.
Man.
Yeah, they don't need glasses to see out.
What a luxury.
Right? So I say pretty good outwards, but like probably won't be able to get like details.
Like 30 feet.
Yeah.
Like the standard
eyesight.
Yeah. So there's probably, I feel like, in my heart of hearts, windows, but they're like inset into the ceiling. So it's kind of like a really janky, like the roof, and like it's slanted, and then there's a cutout, and that's where the window is set in fairly deep, and then like the rest of the roof that continues the slant.
Okay.
Just so that way there is some natural lighting in the room, but it doesn't necessarily fall. It would probably just kind of disseminate inwards more. Basically, the important part of this is that around 9 o'clock in the morning, there is a flutter of wings from outside, and a local Arakakra has landed. Thank you for flying, Air Arakakra. And Jester can hear, right?
Yes.
And I feel like depending on how far Jester has decided to broach their exploration of the paintings, they're probably still confined to the main gallery, right?
Yes.
But depending on how far their senses extend in that sense, there would be kind of a kerfluffle by the door as Bon comes in, and then noises throughout the house. It seems like there's a well-practiced routine, basically, and that Bon has already started their morning many hours ago, God forbid. Like, what a nightmare. And probably 45 minutes pass, right? And, like, there's the sounds of the other inhabitants. And generally the morning is in full swing now. You know? And time passes. And I feel like Jester probably gets bored rather quickly.
Jester in these kind of occasions, like, generally, Jester has gotten used to the luxury of having ice everywhere and being able to interact anywhere and hang around anywhere. But with being moved so frequently around, that makes it hard, too, because Jester does not have all of the layout of the house fully encompassated into being able to move around. So instead, Jester is just kind of trying to entertain themselves and trying to change around their canvas a bit, like, personally. Because that is something that Jester can do, of, like, changing the environment, changing the layout, changing whatever the hell Jester wants. But even that kind of gets tiring.
Absolutely, especially if you've done it a million times already.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like perhaps Jester goes back to, for a bit, browsing through and quote-unquote infecting some of the other paintings. You know, may as well do something useful while you're killing time, right?
Yeah.
And I would say probably the sun would be starting to creep towards the crest of the sky whenever it seems as though Bond slips away from how quietly they come into the gallery, and they shut the door behind them. And there's the quiet click of a lock.
Here enters Bon Arlo. Come to seek my guidance.
Describe for the audience the pose.
Jester kind of has a very, like, chilling with, like, one, like, kind of laying down, and one arm kind of supporting their upper body, while they have one foot up, and a very, one would say, like a pinup calendar pose. I don't know how else to explain it. Fully clothed, mind you.
Absolutely. The pantaloons stay on during. And lo and behold, it is Bon. I would say Bon kind of wears a lot of the same shit every day. So it's probably their usual kind of wear. Just some kind of shirt, cargo-y shorts that have been modified for their physique, etc., etc. And they've brought, like, a stool with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a fold-out stool kind of thing, you know? And perhaps a notepad. And they don't necessarily respond, just kind of, like, give Jester a look as they walk on over to where Jester's original painting is.
Jester just, like, has hands on shin, batting their eyes.
And kind of, like, chunk, swings their hand out so that the stool pops open and sets it down. And kind of gets into a familiar position, a well-practiced position, with their notepad balanced and their writing tools kind of awkwardly curled in their hands. And they gander upon thine most glorious of jesters.
So, did you come for my guidance?
I guess you could say something like that.
Then how may I help you?
Well, since it seems like you're gonna be staying here for a bit, I figured there was some things we should talk about.
Scary. Go on.
house rules in a sense, perhaps, in some fashion for some of it. Don't bat your eyes at me like that.
Okay. I won't blink then.
Even worse, but allowable. They kind of start doodling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Do you think Jester has the wall, like the wall they're facing? Are they there yet, or would they make an effort to go there?
They're making an effort to go there just because it's like the opposite
Yeah.
side. I feel like that is you have to slowly
Right?
encroach on it, but they can get angles.
So I don't know how much Jester can see
Mm-hmm.
of what Bon is drawing,
Probably not much,
if at all.
if at all.
Because they do have those big honking wings and then the big honking shoulders.
Yep.
And they're just kind of drawing. And they're like, yeah. Well, partly I had some more questions about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Of course.
And I know you love to chat it up.
Who doesn't? That's a rhetorical question. I know people who don't.
Yeah. There's some stuff that you know that I would prefer you didn't tell Kankal.
Like the attic?
I like the attic.
Okay.
Don't tell Yuvia about that either.
Okay. I'll keep my pretty little mouth shut.
Yeah, the attic doesn't exist,
Okay.
basically.
Doesn't exist.
Kind of. But yeah. Also, probably shouldn't mention to Kankal about the Gil stuff.
Oh, your whole talk between each other? Your little fallback, is it? Get together, in a way?
Sure.
What even is your relationship with Gil?
Are you sure you really want to, like...
I am bored as hell.
Listen. Gil is a villain. Self-proclaimed. And I'm just kind of the bird behind the curtain in the terms of character development.
Okay, but in real life terms, what is your relationship? That is like an act. A stage, even. What about, I don't know, between the two of you? It seemed rather complicated.
There you go.
Oh, but elaboration would be nice.
Bond kind of just scowls at their notepad. Gil and I so Gil and I. So Gil has a condition. And part of it is something I can treat, and I have been trying to treat. Part of it is unfortunately like curse related, basically. And unfortunately, I don't know enough on how to like theoretically break that curse. So, and the stuff that apparently happened then is super messy. See, the problem with Gil and I's relationship is kind of the problem with, like, other people's relationships I have with them.
Oh. Ugh. You have problems with relationships.
Are you shocked?
I don't know, you seem quite a charming bird.
You would probably be one of the first to say as much. So, kudos to you.
Thank you.
No, I'm an asshole. Really.
Are you really?
Well, I'm not very nice. I tend to bully people. And a lot of the time, most of the time, whenever people call me, is whenever they need my help. And so then I become the guy who helps fix problems.
Is that so bad? In a sense, you'll be like a hero. In a odd sense. It depends, really, on who you're helping. Considering who you're helping right now.
Okay, but, like, they kind of just, they start to go to, like, chew the end of their, like, pen or pencil, the writing utensil. And then they stop and then, like, point, like, make a point to put their hand back down and start, like, drumming it instead. Okay. So imagine, if you will, Jester.
I'm imagining. I'm good at that.
I'm sure. You know, like, the cool classical heroes and stuff, right?
Sure.
So, like, do you ever see them hanging out with, like, their doctor?
Yes.
Kancal doesn't count.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I never really got out much. And really, it's just mostly like stories you hear, said to you. You don't really get to see the life of a person.
Okay. So, like, if you're always fixing someone's problems,
Okay.
most of the time, you kind of struggle to build more of a relationship with them if the basis of your relationship is being their guy who fixes things / their doctor. Like, not to use Kancal as an example, but to use Kancal as an example. Do you really think Kancal was out here making friends with most of the other guys at your little hangout compound?
Not really.
How many of them would you say Kancal was friends with?
Jester kind of like looks away and kind of twirls with their hat.
Yeah. And Bond, like, makes a gesture like, you see. And they continue and they're like, yeah. So, like, not necessarily the kind of, like, I'm doing fucked up alien evil science to try and fix your health. But, like,
So you just gotta sign a role.
yeah. And so what I did is I assigned us roles because that was kind of the way the relationship was. So then it's like, as long as I fulfill the role, you know, then the relationship is fine.
That sounds quite confining. If you just confine your relationship to a role, then that's all it would ever be.
Yeah, but then it's, you don't expect more.
Did you expect more?
No. The problem...
Did Gil expect more?
There it is. Gil misconstrued our relationship because we didn't have the kind of conversation you overheard me talking to him about talking to people about what your relationship is with them and assigning those roles.
Quite a tune-kind fashion to think about this.
Listen, buddy, I just live here.
I mean, you obviously you do. Well, in part.
It's worked. And it also helps keep one from going fucking insane sometimes.
I suppose you're right on that.
You know? Because imagine if you're always wondering, with everyone you ever deal with, you know, what that person thinks of you. And, like, are you gonna get closer? Or, like, do they actually care about me? If you just kind of, like, assign these roles and accept that this is your role in their life, then you can move on. And you don't have to constantly be juggling 10 different relationship strings with the same person. Don't look at me like that.
I have no visible pupils. You do not know where I'm looking at.
Your like eye shape with like your mask thing you got going on, like, can really give the impression of eyebrows and eyebrow raising, coming from the real kind who apparently gets that a lot too.
Fair. Look, it seems like you have a... No, I probably shouldn't talk. Carry on.
So yeah. So the Gil Bond thing, hashtag complicated. And also the stuff I talked to Gil about, Kankal does not exactly approve, I feel, of, like, would not approve of me being like, hey, Gil, why don't you go hunt down the guy that tried to assault Kankal? Or, like, murder them.
That was the thing that happened?
Yeah, I got to find that out through Yuvia.
Oh.
Yeah, I leave them alone for 5 fucking minutes. And some fucking guy breaks into the goddamn house and puts a curse on Kankal and fucking tries to kill him or some shit.
Ah.
It was nuts.
No, I believe that. I believe that would be considered nuts.
So yeah.
You seem to be having quite a time.
I always have a time.
Always. What was the time before this?
Specifically the Gil thing, or like in general?
In general.
Well, there's the Gil thing.
Okay.
And then there's the Kankal thing.
Beyond the before the Kankal thing.
Okay, before the Kankal
Yes.
thing. Well, one of the people you met, Marcel, got kidnapped. That was a thing that happened. I got shot at one point.
You got shot?
Clearly I'm fine now.
Okay.
I actually got shot here, like in this room.
Here?
In this room, yeah.
Who tried to murder you?
Well, technically I probably had it coming. It was, okay, so like, you know Harley.
Yes.
Okay, so Harley had like kids, right?
Yes.
And, you know, there are some things that may have happened to do with Harley's purported demise. That I may or may not have been involved with. And honestly, none of the children liked me that much.
I heard a lot of them were assholes.
Uh, yes.
In a sense.
Yes. But unfortunately, I think that comes with the territory with Toons. The whole shunting into small little boxes thing. Listen. None of them liked me. I'm honestly shocked it took them this long to get to this point. I survived. I'm pretty sure he's in jail. Yeah, we move forward with life, really, at this point.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't tell Kankal that either, I'm realizing.
I mean, depending on how much you want to poke and prod at him.
Yeah, Kankal probably doesn't care that much. What is the
No, carry on.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Harley is a whole basket of wet, angry cats and worms.
You don't like worms?
No,
No, that's fair.
I don't
guess.
really. I'm okay with cats.
You got 2 cats. If you're okay with cats, I would have thought you liked them a bit more.
It's a toss-up on whether animals like the big, giant, predatorial bird that's walking around. So it's like, I'm better with cats than, like, some other ones, but some cats just aren't okay with me.
fair. Okay.
Especially because they know I could eat them. Most animals have a problem with that.
Yes, they do. They do. But sometimes you can just be nice and they'll ease up to you.
Remember the part where I started the conversation with I'm kind of an asshole? I don't go out of my way to be mean to animals, but it's like
You don't go out of your way to be super loving and nice to them.
I haven't had cause to yet. I've been working on this kind of thing.
Okay.
They just keep doodling for a second, just like I'm not a dick to animals. But yeah. I got the cats partly for like Kankal anyway.
I don't even know if Kanko likes animals.
Well, Kankal's gonna learn to fucking like them. Because like otherwise, it's just gonna be them and Yuvia and like you for a bit in the house at least 40% of the time.
Feels like not much has changed then.
Yeah. Well, at least now there's cats.
Only got me there. What are you doodling?
Just, I don't know, shooting the breeze.
You have some of your paintings here. They're quite delightful.
Yep. If you want them, you can have them.
Not much attached.
No. Not really one for painting nowadays. But if they have some sort of helpfulness or a chance to spice up your environment, go for it. Otherwise, I don't know, I'll repaint over them or...
I mean, I don't permanently change the paintings. I mean, I can, but I don't particularly like permanently draw painting on top of another's work.
No?
No, not necessarily.
Why a painting?
I like to paint.
Yeah?
Well, like to. Nowadays it's more manifesting it from my head, in a sense.
I didn't necessarily peg you as an painter. I won't lie.
Am I too much of a theater kid?
You do have that vibe.
Thank you. I worked really hard to acquire it. I used to be a farmer.
A farmer.
Yes, and painted to the side.
As opposed to in the fields?
Well, I guess, yes, I painted in the fields from occasion to occasion. But honestly, painting was more something to the side besides farming. My brother was really the painter in the family.
Yeah?
Yes,
Was he good?
I like to think so. He did really well portraits. I sometimes did the backgrounds. I'm not really good at portraits, if I say so myself. I never really took upon it much, but landscapes and environments and the fields were nice to paint. So sometimes I would paint the backgrounds and he would do the people.
Why'd he only get picked up then?
I was needed to work in the farm. Besides, he obviously had more talent than me. He was really good at it.
How'd you end up in a painting then?
Well, Cancall happened. Well, there's more to it. Um, Shit happened. And, well, beforehand, I did know Cancall, and he was trying to help me out because I did grow sick for one reason or another. We theorized it was in part of some stuff I was messing with, and then it got a little bit easier to manage, and then a flood happened. And after that, the farm was not really a thing, and I was not doing super well. So we went to last resorts, and here I am.
Bond kinda mulls it over for a second. Just kind of thinking. And they're like, so, about yesterday's talk then. Would you end up being interested in trying the whole 3D thing out again?
It would be interesting. And freeing in a sense. It's been a hot while since I've been walking around an actual people space rather than stuck behind the wall. I won't say I will say I miss it, but we've never had the time or energy to try and change anything. Because this is working out fine.
Yeah, that seems to be the case with Kankal, too. Just keep repairing the sinking ship. Because it's working out fine for the moment.
Sounds like you have a bit of sting about that.
I wouldn't say a sting. As a healer, I understand that sometimes you don't get better. Sometimes your condition is just something you have to learn to manage, to live with. I do think that just because you're used to it doesn't mean that you should shy away from opportunities to improve your quality of life. Because you never know when that slight change will make all of the difference.
I won't say no to that about that. I'm always down for a nice little change up. Plus, it's new and interesting. Of course, Tritel can't call that, and I'm sure they would rebuttal with something else, like, I don't know, making things worse by trying something new or whatever not.
See, that's why I'm here. Because I'm, not to toot my own horn or anything, I'm kind of really freaking good at what I do.
That's great to hear.
And also, having a second person with arguably better healing spells on hand, so if you start, like, dying, they can make you not die.
Yeah, Gango doesn't really have that many healing spells.
No, I kind of guesstimated something like that.
Yeah. He isn't, one of those fancy classes with healing magic. If you could say that.
Yeah, just got the great big power of being a fucking nerd.
Yes.
So, do you think the kind of stuff we've been talking about could work?
Well, I'm not a nerd about that. Theoretically, it sounds pretty sound. I'm not really smart So I can't really...
I'm not asking because I think you are some sort of genius.
If only I was.
I'm asking because it's clear that you've known Kankal for years.
Ah.
And I have no doubt that within the deepest recesses of your little painted brain, there are things that you know about and have noticed even subconsciously with the passage of time that has changed for the better or worse that will be useful.
Well, what exactly you're trying to find here, then?
I have a feeling that obviously Kankow's been lying about some stuff, right?
He tends to lie a lot.
Yeah. So for one, there's that. And there's also the fact that, like, there are things that when you're the patient, you're never gonna notice, but the people around you will. Like, fluctuations in emotions and moods and appetite and behavior and, whether or not it's a third Wednesday of the month, does Kankow use a cane more? Trends.
Well, he has gotten more used to using a cane always within the recent years. He used to not need it as much, but...
See, that's something that, I didn't know. I haven't exactly asked Kankow to drop their drawers. I've been very polite. And so I don't know necessarily the full extent of everything. Especially because it depends on what you're trying to target.
Yes.
Because I know Kankow's condition definitely started going downhill after Sandy
Lit shit up.
Yeah, after shit got lit, yeah.
That was a quite notable
event. Yeah.
Yes. He actually stayed in the fire for a while, from what I've heard and what I remember. I was fortunate enough that I was a little bit more in the lower levels, because otherwise I would have gone up in flames.
Yes, that is definitely a downside of your current state.
I'm guessing his lungs probably aren't working well in that regard.
No. We did actually have some conversation in that regard. That whole being an alien thing...
Yes.
Super incompatible with our planet. Like, super.
Annabelle mentioned that a little bit.
So, Kankow's species is, kind of sulfur-based general idea. The shit they breathe ain't what the shit we breathe. So imagine your lungs kind of eroding on the inside.
Not fun.
No.
We'll explain why he sometimes has that raspy kind of...
Yeah.
voice irritation.
A lot of the organs constantly failing, apparently.
Yes.
Terrible. And I don't think it's necessarily some kind of incompatibility issue. Right? Because, clearly there's rejection syndromes, right?
Yes.
But, Kankel isn't an idiot. Kankai would probably account for that kind of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even then, why is shit, even original shit, constantly failing?
Well, okay. I think I know a little bit about this. It's mostly because Annabelle and I tend to talk a lot between each other. We're the ones that know more Kenkai general knowledge than everyone else, along with Yubia. Um, it was something along the lines of, um, what is the term? The terminology. The terminology. Made to fail.
Planned obsolescence?
I believe
Planned.
so.
It's obsolete planning?
Yes.
Whatever that
So
is.
you know how like they make something and they make it so that it doesn't really stay that long, so that you can get a new thing.
Yeah, you see it with tunes occasionally, where it's like their cell paper degrades or whatever.
Yeah. So it's something like that Annabelle mentioned before. Um, where you should just decide points on a date and decides to start not working on that date.
Okay, but then, like, why?
Alien shit?
Uh,
I don't know.
oh,
'Cause
well, okay. Usually.
usually.
Walk with me a second here. And they start gesturing with their, like, pencil and stuff. Usually, you have cell death, right?
Yes.
But before that, cells make more cells.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you have this constant cycle of cells dying and being born, there's no date where even the new ones all just die at the same time or start dying at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's some sort of condition
Mm-hmm.
or some sort of something.
Mm-hmm.
An action being acted upon. Right? So it's like, why is this happening? And does Kankai know?
I don't know.
Well, neither do I. And if Kankai does know, why hasn't or can't Kankai do something about it? Is it inherent simply because of the incompatibility? And we gotta make a little atmosphere bubble for the bird? Or is this something else?
He did have a nanosphere bubble before. You know, so the place we were at used to be his ship.
I think I remember something like that, yeah?
Yes. It. We talked about. From what we talked about, it used to be, fully centralized to being like what he can live in. And he has changed that. And so he used to have a small section that was for him, but then it failed or something. Mechanical, I don't know. So he doesn't have that anymore. But even then, he. Afterwards, it wasn't like much changed, and then the fire happened, and then everything got worse. So obviously he knows the how to kind of, in a sense, make some place he can it's more like home.
Then why haven't they? Because that implies that either Kangal knows it won't help, or Kangal's A affected B. It's not really my to assume in that regard. So now you understand kind of the things I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
You watched me put that shit back up last night, so.
You know. Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
He was interested in me because I was incompatible.
How were you incompatible? Was this before or after? Before.
I got sick. Terribly sick. I used to be a real kind.
Okay.
I got adopted to under two parents when I was quite young. And, to be honest, I was adopted because, they needed help in the farm. Plain and simple. I was a decent size of muscle back in the day. To be able to help out and such. I wasn't really from Ankwell.
Where were you from?
The other continent over.
Faruma or
Yes.
whatever? Faruma.
I got adopted in and just started living my life in Ankwell. And slowly but surely it wasn't doing well.
What kind of real kind were you?
I was in a half orc.
A half orc?
Yes.
A half orc.
Yes. Okay, how I look like right now is vastly different to how I looked like before.
I mean, one can fucking guess.
Oh, absolutely.
Is this like idealized? Is this like your Jester Sona?
Yes. So I like to change things around from time to time. I wasn't always the jester. Sometimes I was the painter. Sometimes I was the queen. Sometimes I was the farmer. More because it felt familiar. The jester is just a fun little thing I did once Obsterprad became a thing. And I thought it would be fun to have a little fun circus theme going on. This is actually not how it usually sounds like.
Bond takes a second at that, I will say. They, like, stopped drawing, started writing, stopped writing, covered their beak in, like, thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And their eyes just kind of swivel from where they're staring off in the distance to look at Jester. And they're like, I know we didn't have anything necessarily special, but I do feel a little betrayed right now.
I'm so sorry. Honestly, I do like this form.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Bond just like, it's clear they're taking a second just thinking about this.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't really like how it looked like before.
I'm happy for you.
Are you okay?
I need a minute.
Okay.
I'm processing.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck was your brother's deal then?
He was like the actual son of the family. What do you mean deal?
I don't know at this point. I feel like I understand so little right now of you, but also some things make a lot more sense.
How do they make more sense? I completely understand the confusion, but make it more sense.
I didn't think that there was any way you were spawned this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to, like, politely, passively, unobtrusively, really, figure out your thing with the Jester thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't contemplate identity theft /
This is not identity theft.
I
I made it myself.
Identity theft was very strong of a word. I'm so sorry, clearly. I wasn't expecting this persona being like a persona in a long line of personas.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
I kind of just figured you were just a freak like that.
Occasionally I'm a freak like this.
I mean, clearly you're a freak like this now.
Yes.
So.
Very delightful.
I guess that answers some questions, though.
Like?
The extent of malleability of your own form.
Ah. Oh yeah, I can change however I look. Not that it's any good. Again, I'm not good at portraits.
So, what happened to the rest of you?
In the painting, in a sense, and weird.
Are we talking in the painting, like...
My body parts were used to paint this.
Awesome! Exactly what I was afraid of. Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. Because that was kind of implied, but, like, there's really no good way to ask.
You can just straight up ask. I've seen some shit.
I have no fucking doubt.
So if you want to know how it worked, well, at least from my point of view, shit was fucked. Cancom fucking numbed me the fuck up. And he told me, he grabbed a painting with the frame already on. I told him that you can't really do paintings with the frame already on, but he said it was important for what we were doing. And he told me to just paint and focus on painting. And he'll be taking parts of my body, slowly cutting me away and putting it into the painting. While I kept painting and only focused on painting.
Awful, thank you.
It seemed like it was something you wanted to know.
I do, but also... the fucking woes. Burdened by knowledge.
You seem...
Let's go back to
Okay.
the incompatible part. Let's go back to the incompatible part.
Yes. In very, very plain terms, I was allergic to magic.
Allergic to fucking magic.
And so imagine being surrounded in a toon continent full of magic.
No, yeah.
So that's apparently what was happening.
Awesome.
And also, I messed around with a few other things, but you know.
I'll let you keep those secrets for now.
Oh, you don't want to know?
I'm already stuck imagining the whole Einquell chainsaw massacre painting
It doesn't
edition.
have anything to do with massacre.
It's a reference.
Clearly, I don't know the reference.
Clearly, you don't know the reference.
Jester just...
Bond does it right back, and they like floof up a little. Your bird posturing at a burr. What do you expect? Super cool. So clearly that implies whatever degree of magic juju bullshit Gankel has going on tripped the trigger of your body's defenses enough that Kankai make you go boom a little, I'm guessing. If Kankai were to try and use your body parts in their body.
Yeah.
Cool. Bond makes a mental note, and you can see Bond making a mental note. But Bond doesn't write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Audio's gonna write it down, though.
I'm obviously no longer allergic to magic, considering this whole thing.
Yeah. For the listeners, the note I wrote for Bond's mental note is as follows. Triggering multi-point body failure via allergic organ implant. Bad idea. All caps. So, Bond will be keeping this in mind. Yeah, you definitely aren't allergic anymore. So... Bond does not... Because they don't have lips.
They don't have lips.
They do a whistling noise, probably. Man. So... That does beg a good question, though. Is... Whatever method Kankai use, however extreme it may have been, did effectively rid your body components of the allergy.
Apparently.
Because otherwise you would have, yeah. Ugh.
You sure are chewing a lot.
Well, I can't really fuck this up, can I?
And how so?
I can't afford to fuck this up.
Oh.
Right? Because if we explore certain options with you, well, A, they could always backfire and you. Except I wouldn't allow it, but there's also that necessitation of I don't know if I couldn't allow it because of your you-ness that you exist in currently. The other thing is, if I fuck up with Kankal, I face the possibility of not only having to go to the supermarket for body parts, or putting Kankal in a terrible, terrible pain spiral of hell unending until we can figure out the problem and fix it. Or, but I won't allow. So then it's... So,
I'm honestly surprised in how much Kankal is cooperating with you.
Well, I kind of told them a few things, like you're not allowed to die. Yuvia won't let you die. Basically just
Not allowed to die.
not allowed to die. And so I'm honestly shocked that... Oh! I also told Kankal that, if they wanted me to basically, stop, they would have to come and kill me themselves.
Huh.
And so we haven't gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm secretly waiting for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly intrigued as to what they would do. Theoretically.
Theoretically.
Theoretical or not. And so that's exciting. So there's that to give them something to live for.
Odd choice, but okay.
I wouldn't say it's an odd choice.
Well, believe it or not, I don't think Kankal likes death much.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Spite, anger, and revenge are some very powerful motivators. If I can't trip the trigger of one, I'll trip the other two, one way or another.
Fair enough.
Kankal doesn't need to like me. Kankal just needs to live. Preferably as painlessly as possible.
What make you take on Kankal as your patient?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It seems like quite an awful lot of trouble to do all this for.
I mean, do I need a reason?
Typically, there is a reason. Either personal or you want to gain something from it, or you feel bad for him.
I mean, I do think it's a waste. Think about how many people Kankal has helped or could help. And imagine what would happen if you would venture into the hypotheticals with me. If something were to happen to you, Who would know how to fix it?
Well, Cancel and Annabelle would be the only really close second, but even then.
Okay, what would happen if Kanko died then?
Well, I guess I'll die.
Exactly. And Bond kind of like makes a clicking noise, and they're back to drawing again, but they point their pencil at Jester, and they're like ding ding ding. So think about it this way. By saving Kankao, I am investing in every single person Kankao has affected.
Does this include Sandy?
Yes, this includes Sandy.
You know, she's doing rather well.
I know, we've been working very hard together. And, quite frankly, I don't think we would have gotten here without her. Whether or not Kankao would want to hear that is another thing.
Gotten here how? I mean, obviously, Sandy is the connecting point between Cancel, really, but...
Well, Jester, who do you think in that room of people would have advocated for Kankao's life? The 12-year-old? The 10-year-old? The trio of 20-somethings? Do you think any of them would have been there if not for Sandy? How far do you think yours and Kankao's and everyone else's little plan would have gotten you? Killing all those rich people and disseminating into the wind, never to see each other again, with no connecting point. What do you think would have happened if everyone had spread into the wind and something had happened to one of you and not a one of you could have found Kankao? Because presumably Kankao would have...
Well, there's nothing we can do.
And
we knew that.
Were you prepared then?
Yes. Well, prepared to accept it and had as much preparation and knowledge on how to, how our shit works.
Could you have dealt with if someone had picked you up against your will and put you in their dumb little house or painted over your painting?
It'll just seem like I am a haunted painting, really. I was willing fine with that, really. I don't know how long the longevity of... Well, if you treat the painting right, it could last forever, but even then, at some point it deteriorates.
Would you have been completely fine and dandy with having your already kind of a shitty lot in life cut down even farther?
I already had the chance to live further than I would have otherwise.
So what would have stopped you from wanting to continue being the kind of selfish, only a living creature that wants to live is? Do you think every single one of the people in that compound was ready for that kind of thing?
Not necessarily.
There you go. And if I didn't know Sandy, I wouldn't have been there. And who knows how it would have gone? Most certainly, none of us. But you wouldn't be here with a plethora of paintings to peruse at your leisure. People don't always think about those kinds of questions.
No, not really. I don't really like thinking about those. I actually quite like this.
That's kind of my job, though. Is I think about the kinds of things people don't want to think about. And I try to think of answers. How far can certain things be pushed and pulled and, you know. And that's why I do silly little things. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, my relationship with people I care about is not worth more than the lives of all of the people I will never know. But my actions could help.
You're quite a good doctor.
No, I'm not that great, actually.
Oh, why not?
Well, for one, I still rely on my God to make true miracles happen. Haven't managed to reverse aging.
Oh, was that on the docket?
No, but you have to really aspire big, you know. Can't turn tunes back into real kind or real kind back into tunes if they've been turned into one or the other. Not managed that yet. You know, just normal things to aspire to. Towards.
Sure, normal. Is this what you wanted in life?
To be what?
Helping people?
Yeah, isn't it everyone's?
I know others who just want to be happy or open up a bakery or run a circus.
I mean, I don't see any necessary problem with those. I guess that's just part of what makes me what I am.
Why did you stop painting?
Because I found out my jackass of a mentor was taking advantage of people. And that this hobby they taught me was not that great.
They were taking advantage of people?
So, you know a loan shark, right?
Yes.
So, imagine if you would. Someone offers to put you through school, put your brother through school, and they say, hey, all you gotta do is at some point help me expand what I'm doing. You know, they're running these scholarships, they're doing what seems to be a pretty sweet deal. They're helping tunes out, like ones who have even been put in terrible situations. And then you find out that they're using this as a method to maintain what will end up being their generational wealth that they're going to pass on to their bastard children. And that they don't give a lick about any of their students.
Jester's not really looking up on. Kind of like filling with their hands.
It's more complicated than that. But, I don't know. It kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, finding out that there were more layers to the story than even I know now. And there are probably things that have caused people to be hurt. And there's probably a lot of great people who were helped by Harley. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I can forget people who were hurt or situations that didn't need to happen but did happen. Unfortunately, with proximity with toon shenanigans and stuff, the story changes as it passes through hands. A retelling becomes slightly different because it's from one toon's point of view, and the grasp Einquell has on reality is tenuous at times. It's all for the story, right? But the idea stays the same. Is Harley Thornberry was a very gifted painter who used their sway in life to recruit people to help them, and sometimes it involved rather underhanded means. And sometimes perfectly good people were forced to bend their morals and do things they didn't exactly agree with.
Did you have to do that?
Wow. Wouldn't you like to know?
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. None of it's very interesting. But I was an impressionable young Aarakocra with no real grasp of the common language or the etiquette, courtesies, laws. And unfortunately was a bit of a gullible idiot.
You.
Me.
I see you've learned.
Oh, yes.
A little bit of a harsh lesson.
Always. But in learning, there is, with all things, the reassurance of time. All things pass.
That's true.
Besides, even if I helped Harley escape death more than once, it'll happen.
One way or another.
Yep. And so you know what that means? I don't have to feel guilty at all for taking advantage of their bougie ass house.
I made a paint for my brother when he was under Hurley's tutorage. It shifts color. Depending on the mood or the angle you look at.
I can see that being a very nice gift.
You think you've seen it around?
If I did, I don't know if I could tell you. That kind of artist's secret doesn't exactly come cheap.
True.
But I bet if you ever have need of a painter who knows how to paint with such things, I could find the right person. I bet he would even do house calls for the right price. But it seems to me that I have just the trump card one would need for that, huh?
Jester kind of smiles and looks away. He doesn't know I'm alive.
And?
Well, look at me. I'm a glorious RPs and not really the little sibling I was before.
You look like a gay little twink.
Yes! Quite a fashionable gay little twink.
I mean, ego death aside, I think if your brother really cared about you, a gay little twink would be better than, nothing at all.
Well, he's lived with nothing at all for a couple of years now.
And?
Well, the shock of, haha, your sibling is your brother is alive.
And?
I could have told him at any point. I decided not to.
Well, at least now you're hanging in a bougie-ass mansion where you have prospects than a alien convict fugitives underground spaceship compound helping doing evil science on abducted toons and the misfortunate. So, arguably, now's a great time comparatively. Because at least now you can say there was a terrible accident or some shit, and you're convalescing.
I'll have to remember to do my own voice.
There was a terrible accident.
How can you believe that it's me?
I don't know. There's shit you must know that no one else would.
I don't know.
Like what you did to make his fancy dancy paint gift. Seriously, it's not that hard. It's just uncomfortable and emotional.
Ugh, uncomfortable and emotional.
And the gods of Einquell forbid we experience emotional sincerity here in this Toon building.
Do you know how much emotional sincerity I had to compress down?
Like, into the painting?
Besides that!
No.
Ugh.
Or is this like...
You're bad at that. You are good at that. No. Never mind.
What?
Nothing.
Bond starts doodling something in the corner. They like abandon whatever bigger drawing they're working on, and they start drawing something in the corner.
What are you doing? Can't even see it.
Infect the paintings faster.
I can't do it with you here. I need to concentrate.
Oh no. I think the kids would say something like, "Get good, scrub."
You try infecting paintings.
What if I could?
Ugh.
What's so funny?
Living.
Right? Now you understand.
I've always understand.
Well, then your job, while you're here, if you would be so kind as to
Is
assist
to annoying
me.
the hell out of Kanka?
No. Close. But you could spread some of that joy of living around. Perhaps. If you can manage it.
The paint didn't just shift colors.
Yeah?
It was funny. If you know how to use it right, you can make portals out of it.
You want to tell me this is the shit that killed you, isn't it? Because you can't just tell me that this half-orc motherfucker who's literally allergic to magic didn't have, like, a bajillion times murder, kill you, death, hyper anaphylactic shock from trying to make special magic paint.
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
Obviously.
So you just randomly made magic paint?
Well, I was using material. Einquell is weird that it was pigments. Crushing them up. Probably inhaled some of it.
Almost certainly. As your not doctor, I wouldn't suggest doing that kind of thing.
Well, now I can't do it anymore.
Ah, but with my help.
Some of it is in this painting.
I mean, I figured that one out too. I'm guessing this is a trait you can kind of transfer,
Yes.
considering...
Yes. Considering how fun all of you ran around the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, isn't that like a whole thing of like people you like sometimes make paintings with arsenic?
You would not believe the poisonous shit that's in paintings.
I can believe it.
Like, if I were to take one of my talons and start scratching at some of these paintings, we'd be fucking dead.
You'd be fucking dead.
I meant royal we, as in, like, the rest of the house, too.
Ah. Oh, yeah. The pains of creation. It always turn out so pretty.
Bond finishes their drawing, and they tear it off the corner of their notebook, and they show it to Jester. It's a tiny chibi Jester, with the lines of their mask having turned into angry eyebrows. And they are flipping the viewer off.
Quite the masterpiece.
Oh, absolutely. We'll hang it on the fridge.
Lovely. Maybe one day I'll get to see the fridge.
I don't know if there's any paintings in the kitchen.
Fuck. Fine.
Bond goes, like, rooting through their pockets, and they pull out, like, a piece of sticky tack, and they, like, flip their notebook shut, and they get up, and, like, you hear their bones creak. And shockingly, Bond actually goes through the effort of, like, stretching their wings out fully, because this room is big enough for that. And they just... big stretch, and my elbow popped, like, 2 or 3 times.
Oh my god.
Accurate. And they kind of shuffle over to Jester's painting, and they put the sticky tack on the back of the doodle, and they sticky tack it to Jester's frame.
Ah. Well, now I can't share the joy with everyone. Kanko obviously needs to see this.
Well, clearly we'll just have to open up the gallery again. Or we'll just make copies of it everywhere.
You should teach Kanko to paint more.
Why?
I don't know. Might be therapy, painting, art therapy.
I mean, I don't exactly argue against Kanko picking up more hobbies, but, like, why me?
I don't know. Just something to have a more positive connection towards painting rather than, you know, your mentor being a shit.
I mean, like, Sandy paints.
Well,
We've painted together.
Maybe you can make it a group activity.
That would involve getting Sandy and Kanko in the same room with blunt
Miracles
weapons.
can happen.
You will be in the room that day, then.
Sure, in a painting.
And whenever paint goes everywhere, Bond, like, pats the frame. No. I'm good, actually.
Fine. One day I'll get him.
Yeah, I feel like you have more luck convincing Kanko than me.
Kanko's a finicky beast. Like, I can get him to paint, but he doesn't put any love in it. Any passion. He just copies what he sees. Like, mechanically. Weirdly. Siri.
Clearly, you're doing it wrong. Ugh. In order to motivate Kankal, you have to give Kankal a reason to care.
Not just a pretty, please.
No.
I know that doesn't work. He painted some of the paintings over in the other place. He mimicked my art style in order to do them because I asked him to.
Couldn't you just...
I can't infect a blank canvas.
Why not?
I mean, I can, but it's a lot of work and... Statistics. I don't know if... Okay, here's the actual thing of, like, I don't know how much paint I can spread around fully. Like, I don't know if that's a thing I have to consider.
Bond, like, pinches the base of their beak. Like one would pinch their nose. And they're like...
Can you at least understand?
I can, and unfortunately I'm thinking about it now.
I mean, I can get more paint into my painting.
But at what point is it ship of Theseus?
Yeah.
And we don't exactly have more donor material.
I mean...
Unless Kankal was keeping bits of you in a fucking jar.
I mean, I feel like as long as, like, the first layer is fine, like, you don't... Just, you know... Because, like, I was using paints when I was painting. He just put shit on. I don't know how he did it. I was painting. I was focused, like severely focused. I swear. It was like I was just looking at.
Bond's just shaking their head, just like, can you fucking believe this shit?
I have concerns.
Clearly.
I just don't voice them. I mean, I should. Well, I have. But then it's always like not the right time.
Bond picks up their fucking drawing book and flips to a new page. And they're like, tell me your fucking concerns.
Fuck.
Unfortunately for you, I am a doctor. Enough
now you say you're a doctor.
I'm enough of a doctor.
You're enough of a doctor.
You can't just say shit like that and expect someone reasonable not to be concerned.
Well, if you lived with Kankal, who this is kind of the norm.
Please voice your concerns for me.
I don't know the logistics about the whole painting situation. I know I can spread the paint around and all that. Like, I can spread myself around. I can transfer this layer of Jester that I am into other places. Fine and handy. I can just pull it back up. I can suck it all up. I need a bit. I need a bit. I don't have care instructions.
And now is where the part where Kankal being alive is important.
Look, it's not like I wanted him to die.
Well,
I helped you guys.
Well, clearly. No one wanted Kankal to die. Except for like a small handful.
And Kankal.
I can't help that.
You're a doctor!
Well, clearly I'm working on it, but like I couldn't help it then, other than what I've done.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So what we're gonna do is... Hello, my name is Bon Arlo. I work as a healer. I'm so glad that we've decided to undertake this new relationship aspect together. And in time, we can go forward in talking to Kankal about the methodology used in order to create your environment and the effects it will have on your continued long-term care.
I don't like this.
Deal with it.
Can we at least also be buddy buddies? Conspiring connivers.
Fine. And if you want, we can see about moving you around the building so you can have a little bit everywhere. So that way you're not just stuck here.
I mean, I'm working on it. It takes a while.
Well, yeah, this will speed up the process. If you just infect one painting in every room, it's better than being stuck here with 10 million paintings of yourself just staring at fucking nothing.
There won't be paintings of myself all the time. That was just a funny little trait in order to add the atmosphere to everything. They can change.
I like changing them. It's fun. Don't look at me like that.
I know I'm not looking at you, but don't look at me like that.
Mm-hmm. And if need be, we can go back to Command Center, Alien Town, and pick up those paintings and bring them back here. So then you have a little more of you to go around.
You know, that would be nice. Yubia was briefly mentioned of wanting to go back there.
Yeah, at this point I'm gonna have to make a fucking laundry list. They start writing again.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what. You scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good. We will keep the things I talked to you about on the down low.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You start telling me about some of your concerns and thoughts and curiosities about your condition.
And Cancals, I'm guessing?
And Cancals. And any other interesting or important things that you know that may affect other people who may end up here. I'll take what I can get. In return, obviously you can hang out here. You can go back to hang out with Gil at some point. We will do our best to improve your quality of life and to answer as many of your questions as we can. And you get to have all sorts of fun gossip moments. And I don't know, I'll get a TV or something. I'm sure there's one kicking around in here. Those are things.
I heard they're recent-ish.
They're very new. They're very new. They're like...
Cancel actually had one before they became a thing.
Oh, well, Cankal, the super advanced alien, had super advanced alien technology. I work at a movie studio with penguins from the moon.
Is the moon fun?
Apparently they have a lot of discos there.
Sounds like fun.
And there's a lot of penguins. I don't really ask questions.
I feel like that's generally the rule with tunes.
Yeah. So. I would offer to shake your hand.
You can put it in here.
Sure. And Bond just kind of tentatively, like, puts their hand in the painting.
It feels like wet paint.
gross. Not like gross, but like gross.
Nothing sticks to Bond, though.
Yeah. And they kind of do the motion,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pull their hand back out, and you can tell that wasn't a great mouthfeel.
Yeah, I should have warned about... I'm sorry.
It's fine. This is not the worst thing I have stuck my hand into.
There's been worse.
And with that, I think we will end our FPS. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, for
Thanks.
listening in.
For coming by and learning the house rules.
Have a good day. Have a good night.
Have a good evening. Have a good morning.
Love you. Mwah.
Bye-bye.